Alright, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back into another video. Today's video is about the Last Remains update and what it comes with it, including the newest champion, Kasumi. And Kasumi, I'm going to be going through her first, and then we'll go through the other cosmetics and how there's obviously some, the event pass, some crossover pass sort of thingy. Not really a pass, it's more like a couple skins are a crossover. But I guess those are like in chests or something like that. But we'll get into the patch notes in just a second. There'll be links for the patch notes in the description. But I wanted to go through some things here because not everybody's going to understand most of this. Like how exactly does Kasumi work, how do their stacks work, and etc. So I am going to go through them because I went in the UC meeting with the developers through these things and asked them a bunch of questions to make sure that I had the right information for you guys. So if you're watching, obviously, and thinking, oh, wait, but I wanted to see the skins, guess what? On the bottom, you're going to be seeing this little bar here, and it's going to have a little separation, one for Kasumi, other one for like skins and cosmetics, and then finally one for bug fixes, balances, and etc. Okay, so if you want to go to jump to specific place, guess what? You can. So let's talk about Kasumi first. Kasumi is a damage with 2100 HP. She is a ghost girl, she hovers, and her main fire is a doll, a voodoo doll in a nail that she basically pierces the doll. And the idea is that in a way it does look like auto aim, but it's a very small cone that you need to still aim at people in order to hit them. It doesn't have many range, and it will actually prioritize shields and deployables, unfortunately. So here it is, Kasumi. This is her emote of like glitch or whatever it is. This is actually her default emote. It is a roaming emote, which is kind of insane. But right here above, right here and around like a couple seconds, here you see, okay, so here you see these little brackets here basically tell you who you're going to target. She is technically speaking a hit scan, it just doesn't have any existing shots effects. So it's like, imagine, well, you're playing Lee and it's a hit scan and you hit that directly with your main fire, but you see the travel of the projectile. Now, Kasumi, however, does not do that. She basically, it's like a telepathic sort of connection. You see it with these brackets on yourself. Nobody else sees them, obviously, and you will deal damage that way. Now, before you start thinking this is broken, I want to talk about her numbers. She does 350 damage per hit, okay? That is how bad it is, her main fire. Actually, it says here 250, which I think they're actually wrong. I'm actually confirmed here real quick. I'm gonna pause this. Okay, yeah, I just confirmed, and basically on the document that was shared with the UC, she says to do 350 damage by base, and here it says 250, but just a moment ago this was also wrong, saying she was a flank, so I wouldn't be surprised this actually is wrong. But basically she does 350 damage, actually 250. Okay, so they might have nerfed the damage to not scare off people, I guess. But notice how that person, that Tornado, had a stack, right? This is how your main fire will work. You see that little one on Tornado, that is a stack. So every time that you have no stacks out there in the world, when you attack somebody, it will apply a mark, a stack. And that will amp the damage that you're doing with your main fire. So if she attacks again, she'll do more than 250, which I'm gonna wait here just for a second. She's going to attack here, 250, and then you see next up 300. So it is basically giving you more damage per stack. So you apply a stack and you do more damage on the next attack. So you're basically almost like the precision Leon kind of thing, which it's okay, I guess. I mean, since it is auto aim, you don't want to start off with a ton of damage. I mean, I call it auto aim, but you guys understand my point. I mean, while Leon can just have people in her screen and hit them, Kasumi here has to actually aim to the place where the people are that you want to hit. It's similar, almost like aiming your right click of Furious Heals in a certain way, but a little bit more tight, and you'll be able to know who you are attacking with these little brackets on the side. This will prioritize, however, shields and deployables, so it's going to be extremely hard to fight people with any of these, okay? So you might want to go for Wrecker and Bulldozer straight away. That is my suggestion to you. Now, you can only have 5 stacks on a person. You put 1 stack every time you attack them, so you can get up to 5 stacks. That's max, and the stacks increase damage, but not just that, they also nerf the damage that that person who has the stacks will actually be able to do. Not just to you, but to everyone. So you're basically giving them a damage debuff, allowing your team to suffer less at the hands of that enemy. Now, imagine the following. This Fernando here already has 5 stacks, and I want to go and hit that Fernando in the back. So what would that do? Like, would I start applying 1 stack at a time, since there's only a max of 5 stacks? Well, no. It would basically shave off some stacks from the other Fernando, instead of being just 1 every time that you attack on this person. Because there's stacks out there, it will steal them and put 2 immediately per attack. So the first time you're applying stacks, it will put 1 per stack. The next person that you're attacking, if at least there's 1 to 2 stacks already out there on somebody else, it will place 2 stacks. For as long as there's stacks on somebody else, you'll be able to put always 2 stacks, obviously capping at 5. Her traps, her Q also applies stacks, apply 3 stacks, but we'll talk about that in a second. And her ultimate also applies stacks and actually goes over the limit. But like I said, once we get there, you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. So let's continue here. As you can see here, she's doing more damage as she goes. And she's going all the way to 500 damage once there's 5 stacks. So 500 damage per attack feels pretty good. Unfortunately, no, you cannot apply stacks to shields, and it will prioritize the shields first, which is kind of sad, but you're going to have to build that record as fast as possible. You don't have any reload, which is, I mean, I guess fine. The range on this is not massive. It is actually a medium range, and I believe that in certain times, if the body is not fully visible, it's going to be hard to actually select an enemy. You don't have to actually do anything to select anybody. You just have to look in their their general area. As long as your reticle, I believe it is sort of connecting with the hitbox of the body, then the brackets will appear. Now your right click also will take benefit from the stacks, and understand this, it will not make the stacks disappear. The stacks will stay. This is like a resource you're gonna have to work with as much as possible. The right click basically does a slash almost into the enemy you're looking at, and if they have stacks, it will do more damage. It does a 500 damage by base. We can actually go over here and I show you exactly what I'm talking about. It's actually doing more damage now. They apparently have buffed it, but with stacks, it will deal 10% more damage as per stack, right? So if you have 5 stacks, it can go up to 750 plus, I believe, and it will disarm the enemy for 1 second. The disarm is a CC that used to exist that no longer exists anymore, where you could basically make somebody stop shooting, stop attacking, okay? So don't get the idea wrong. This is not silence or cripples. It's actually the disarming that only stops their main fire for a second. It's only 1 second, so it's nothing that crazy. And obviously it acts up like an alternative fire, but it has a cooldown, which, if I am not wrong, the cooldown is 9 seconds. Yes, 9 seconds for this ability. So basically you can do like a little combo, left click, right click, once it hits the, the 5 stacks, and deal that 750 plus damage. Okay, so I believe that they're going to use it now here. Okay, no, not here yet, but they should be using it in a bit here. Not really sure what they were trying to show us here, but I'm trying to understand it. Apparently, he's using one of the cards that gives him heals once the stacks disappear, by the way. Because I just saw the healing effect once those stacks disappeared. And obviously, if you kill a person with stacks, you're going to have to reapply stacks to somebody else. If you want to switch between targets, then it will be 2 stacks from one to the other. So it's easier to transfer and faster. As you can see here, even from behind Fernando, apparently you're targeting shields. I don't know if this actually will be changed. I'm guessing it will. But I wanted them to do the right click here real quick so I could show you. But as you can see, there's 4 stacks, so every time he attacks somebody else, it will shave off 2 stacks from somebody else. It will refresh the timer, and obviously, eventually, the stacks will disappear. The stacks mostly work for damage debuff for the enemy, and also damage amplifier for yourself, okay? So here, Mr. Strixus died to the Cassie, and as you can see there, that's the attack. Okay, so I see here a bit of an issue here, because they said on the patch notes that this is supposed to do, alright, it says 500 there, but it says here 525. I'm guessing that they ended up thinking to do this and then cancel the last second. So it's supposed to do 500. So there's a bit of a problem here with the patch notes. I'm glad I'm here to actually make sure that this is actually, just confirmed that it's wrong. Okay, so it's 500. It should go up to 750 with more stacks that you have. And it will disarm enemies, obviously. As you see there, it disarmed. It went to 700 because it only had like 2 stacks or something like that, I believe. And there you go. I mean, you can do that, left click, and then just finally kill the person with the right click. I mean, it's a damage boost. It's a bit stronger attack if they already have the stacks. So here it was probably testing that. That's what I'm thinking. They might end up changing this to target the person if you see him behind the shield. If the shield is facing you and blocking the sight, then maybe, yeah, you're going to have to fight the shield. But if not, you probably will be able to attack person. Okay, so here he's demonstrating the traps that I was mentioning before. The traps, as we can go here and see, it basically allows you to put 3 traps in the world that the enemies will not be able to see. But if an enemy gets close to it, it will trigger it. And you can teleport to it by reactivating it, and it will be to the latest triggered trap, okay? It does 100 damage if people get too close to it, and it also applies 3 stacks plus a fear of 1.5 seconds. So you could then teleport to it and then just finish off the target, okay? Obviously, if you do reactivate it, however, to teleport, it will go in a longer cooldown. So, yeah. Here we're going to be able to see him just placing the traps. The traps are invisible to your enemies, but if you use Illuminate, you'll be able to see them. So, yeah, for anybody. I don't think you can shoot them, though. I'm not really entirely sure how you can actually stop this. I'm guessing that the best way is to get resilience if you really want to trigger them and just expect the Kasumi to teleport to you and immediately get ready in fighting stance to kill her. I mean, if you were together with your team where a trap is and she teleports over there, it's not really going to be good for you to use that. So I would say mostly just take advantage of the fear effect, as you can see there. Now I'm a bit confused because I remember asking about it. I don't know if the traps will automatically activate or if they only activate if somebody's close to it and you teleport to it. Because as you can see here, it only affects it once you teleport to it. I'm guessing they changed that as well. Interesting. Okay. There is, however, a talent that makes it a bit different. Basically, they become ticking time bombs. So, yeah, I guess. So basically, I guess that, yeah. So if you see the trap and an enemy is getting close to the trap, you will be notified there's somebody there. And then you can trigger it. But the thing is that they explained that if the trap triggers, then only then you can teleport to it. So that's why I'm actually wondering what the hell they're talking about here, because it doesn't seem exactly as I was expecting. But okay, but in the future I'm going to be doing gameplays with this and try to understand it even better. So for now you just need to understand that it's a trap and you can teleport to the latest activated one and it fears and deals a bit of damage. Now let's talk about her movement ability, which is her F, where she leaves her body behind and goes in an astral form, with some bit of speed. And now on your astral form, nobody can attack you, but your body can still suffer damage. And if your body dies, well, then you die. So it's like a billow, but worse. But here's the thing. It does have DR, so that the body doesn't take the normal damage that it would take. And if you reactivate it, you will actually go back into the body. Okay, so you can actually use it similar to Thor's hammer movement ability. Not really like that, but... So he throws the hammer, and if you activate it again, you'll go to where the hammer is. So it's similar to that with Billow all together in one go, in a way that, you might be able to understand it a bit better. So there's a talent, however, that will basically make you be healed with no cauterize effect for 70% of the damage that your body takes if the ability does reach the end. So I would not advise you to use this ability in front of people, unless you really have to, and just make sure that once you create enough distance, there's cards that will increase the distance and even time. So if you start doing that, then remember that people might be able to hit your body. So try to use them when nobody's looking at you or after you pass over a corner to make sure that you are able to finalize it. Otherwise, you can have a really, really bad time there. Now let's talk about her ultimate. Her ultimate applies this crazy stall effect onto a person that you're looking into, And you cannot put it on shields and anything. You can just place it on players, obviously. And once you do that, it becomes a ticking time bomb. After a couple 1, 2, 3 seconds or something, it will blow up, deal damage to you and whoever gets affected by it, because the person itself will blow up and throw kunais almost around them, and anybody who gets hit by it will also be affected. But here's the thing, they all gain 5 stacks. So here it is right now. It activated. It missed that Fernando on the right side, but as you can see there, they all started taking damage, and they also had 5 stacks applied to them. Everybody who gets affected by it gets the 5 stacks. And apparently it does more damage based on how many stacks you have, although they are taking 80. There it is, 160. So it does do it like I was saying. So you can put more than 5 stacks with the ultimate. Eventually, once you start, imagine if right here you had these 2 people with 5 stacks and you wanted to attack the Fernando who has no 5 stacks, it would take 2 stacks from each of all the other elements. Okay, so enemies. So basically, yeah, you cannot really abuse more than 5 stacks besides the small time of the ultimate. The ultimate is basically a damage thing, so it's pretty powerful. It does more damage based on stacks, so if you want to have the most value, the biggest value of it, you will want to wait until the tick damage stops, and only then you should start applying stacks to somebody else. Obviously, if it's needed, then you're gonna have to move on to another target, and maybe you'll even save the person you did apply the ultimate to. But I'm seeing more people use the ultimate directly into somebody they start fighting with, so it doesn't really matter. All right, here is her weapon animation here. There it is. The weapon animation is basically you just pierce the doll with the needle in the head. It's a bit buggy there, but it works better after. And you just look at the doll and then you stop. There you go. So as for her voice, it's very ghost-likey. I think they will be able to show us here. Okay, so let's just go for the talents. Nico is about to discuss it, and here they are. So the first talent will basically increase your attack speed and your movement speed per stack currently on enemies. So if you use the ultimate and you put stacks on everyone, this is huge, but it's only for like 1 to 2 seconds, like 2.6 seconds if I'm not wrong. Spirit bombs, the second talent. Spirit lures become time mines and can no longer be reactivated, so you can no longer teleport to them, but they explode in a small duration after being triggered to deal damage. Okay, so basically you place the bombs, and if somebody triggers them, after a couple seconds it blows up, fears people, applies curse stacks, and it now also has a bigger cooldown. I'm still gonna have to go through these mines. They're very interesting for me because I always thought of having a champion with traps like this, and I now really want to see how Iris or Evil Mochu has decided to go about it. So for now, let's just be a little bit on the doubt, like what exactly does it mean, like how exactly does it work. But once I finally got gameplay going on for you, I will then go even deeper into this subject. So, unfinished business, that's the third talent. Extend the duration of your body and soul by 1 second, so it lasts a bit longer, you can go further. After the ability ends, heal for 70% of the damage your body took while traveling, unaffected by cauterize. So, basically what I think is that if you trigger it again, it might actually work. But I'm thinking that the idea here was to just go until the end of the ability, do not trigger to go back to the body, and you could always just get heals back over the damage you took, which will basically allow you to survive a bit longer. I still don't like how this works. I feel like you should just go completely invisible, leave the body behind, it could be targeted, but never do anything to you. As a trap, you got bamboozled, it's a ghost, it's actually a decoy, it's false, it's not me. And instead you go invisible, which Illuminate would actually allow the enemies to see you. And you either go until the end of the ability, or you could just trigger it back up, and then they would be surprised with the real you back again. That would be, for me, the best movement ability for her, especially because she does not have any verticality. The only way that you can get vertical mobility is by placing mines, or the traps, or the spirit lures, or spirit bombs, or whatever, in places that have high ground, and then teleport to them once the enemy gets close to it. But, I mean, that doesn't seem like good mobility for me. So this champion, although does seem pretty broken, it actually isn't. it does seem very weak in my opinion. So I want to know what you guys think about this. All right, this is pretty much it when it comes to the champion herself. When it comes to voice lines, sound effects, VFX, everything else, I'm going to do that all with the gameplay. Make sure that I go into the shooting range and then show it up for you, you know. So, yeah, she does seem broken in paper, but in reality, she's going to be very, very weak if not played correctly. Let's talk about a little bit about her skins real quick. She has a recolor, which is this one. Okay, this is the recolor where her colors change a bit, and she's not as ghosty according to what I understand. She's more just like pale and has different color palette on her clothes. It's similar, like it's a hybrid between this one, because this is going to be the season pass skin where she's more human-like. You can see here that the bow is completely normal and her default one basically is ripped apart. Okay, so you can see here that the bow is a bit ripped apart, everything is ripped apart, and here she's more like human, she's like before she died, and in here it's going to be a hybrid, so between both, right? So she's still technically speaking just, you know, she started to be in the ghost right now, basically, that's what I'm saying. The color palette change, obviously, as you can see. Even the hat changes, apparently, for some reason. It goes a bit, like, more pale. Okay, and then finally we got the golden skin, which in my opinion, I've seen the golden skin and the concepts of they showed us to the AOC, and this does really not make any sort of fairness to it, because this does not look like the gold skin that I saw. So wait for the gameplay. I'll be showing up the skins and even the gameplay and voice lines and etc. That's the so-called default mode, where she's a roaming emote. She's in a roaming emote, sort of like glitching, sort of ghosting, you know, kind of thing. This is her default MVP pose. This is the possessive MVP pose, where she's like holding the doll. Also, another thing that I found really cool is when she's going to the mount, she's like holding the doll as a baby in her arm, but like as almost like a dead baby in her arm, which is really creepy. Jesus Christ. Okay, there's no extra skins for her for now, and I'm not really going to go through her cards, because you can just go there onto the patch notes and check them out for yourself and see what kind of broken things you can come up with. Okay, I actually like this. They ended up putting the real art here and just highlighted what would show up on the symbol. That's cool. That's really cool. And here are also the symbols of the talents. Okay, so now skipping Kasumi, and this is the part where I'm going to crop the video on the bar so you guys can see what's going on and what's not going on. Let's talk about the event pass that is going to happen in this patch. There's a normal event pass pretty much, but it's sort of like Oni style. If you know what Oni is, you know, the entire Japanese masks, demons, likes, etc. It will be a normal event pass, basically the same price as all the others, and you can also just completely buy it entirely. Instantly if you want to. It's 24 levels, and inside of it there are 4 skins, 2 skins and then 2 recolors. And yes, I know I said 4 skins. I'm already waiting for people to go into the comment section down below and say, haha, he said 4 skins. Yes, I did. Okay, let's go back here into where they're showing the skins, so you guys can have like a sort of like a visual idea how it looks like. That's the Tiberius one, but let's see the Leon first. So here are some of the effects. Her weapon in first person, it's like, this is like a spine. It's almost like supposed to like imitate spines, and you have the Oni things here in the back and like a blade or a horn in the front. Okay, so you can see when she does the eminence, she'll do like a little star in the front. What I like is the ultimate here. Very awesome. When it comes to her voice lines, I'm not really going to go too deep onto this because of a real simple thing. Their audio on the showcase was a pretty bad, so it was really hard to listen to anything at all. Even with editing, it's going to be extremely hard to make it the sound any nicer than this. So yeah, this is the recolor. Looks a bit more natural looking, almost like a wizard. It reminds me of the, you know, witch Ray skin. I like the color palette on this one, actually. It's pretty damn nice. The weapon looks a bit more like a weapon because the other color on the bones was weird for me. I don't know. So these are the two Leon skins that are coming up. And then we have the Tiberius here, which, yeah, only Tiberius that are going to show us right here. And I'm going to say this right now. This skin looks amazing. I mean, the entire, like, just the weapons alone is absolutely insane. The end of the tail there with that blade there, the horns, the sword imitating that, like, sullified fire, you know, the flames that they usually have on the Japanese culture. It is absolutely insane. The jade orbs that he has on his belt, the entire armor, the horns, everything. This was, I'm almost gonna guess that Thunderbrush was all over this skin 100%. And it looks amazing. It looks very, very awesome. Here it is in game. Okay, so I wanted to mention this. So as you can see here, Tiberius is doing an emote where he's doing like a heart-shaped thing, and you even hear the sound. And if you go into the patch notes and you scroll all the way down, it's gonna tell you that this is the emote that he got, which is not. I mean, this is wrong. This is a default emote. So you understand my point here. That's actually the emote that it's getting here. So here it is. Gonna try to show it again just one more time. And here it is. Okay, I guess the issue was that apparently they messed up and they named it Take a Bow like the default emote. So when somebody was doing the patch notes, they went and searched for the emote Take a Bow, and so they ended up putting the default one by accident. So once again, this is the reason why I do these videos, is to make sure that you guys don't go over these mistakes and be like, what the hell is going on, you know? Yeah, I'm sorry for the quality, though. This is the quality of their own stream. I can't really do any better than this. I'm sorry. That's the sword in game. It looks amazing. One thing that I like is that for some reason in the gold skin they messed up. When you throw the golden chakrams over the swords, they actually look like the default ones. But when you use the skins, they all look amazing. They all look exactly as they're supposed to, which is weird. If you have the golden Tiberius, you can check that out. Throw a sword into a wall and see that the golden sword is not actually what you just threw. It has those little symbols there, Japanese symbols of the demon-like. It's amazing. Very nice. Oh, it does fire effects around the ultimate. I didn't even see that. That's amazing. Jesus Christ. Look at that. Absolutely awesome. Even Nico is allowed to do a little bit of a pun there. Okay, so that's it for the Tiberius skin. He has his recolor coming up here. There it is. This is the recolor, a bit more different color palette. The chakrams and the swords, however, still look a bit almost the same, I would say. Maybe just the handle changes a bit. I don't know. The sage orbs are now purple instead of the green balls that he had there on his waist, if you know what I mean. So yeah. Now let's talk about other skins here. Now I'm actually not 100% sure about this. So there's another skin here that it's for Vaatu. This one is going into the gold chest. Sorry, diamond chest. My bad. I don't know where they put it. Jesus Christ. Must be up there all the way to the top. Or they didn't put it, apparently, because I don't think I've seen the Vaatu skin yet. I actually think they messed up. Okay, no, they didn't. Okay. There it is. Okay. The Abyss skin here of Vatu. If you guys remember correctly, on the Caspian's trailer, there were these guys over here, and they basically made it a skin, which I love. But here on the trailer, nothing on the showcase. Unfortunately, they showed us the skin, and they messed up a bit on one thing. Here, as you can see here, the art, right? I want to take a look really quick. You see the kunai down there? That's how the kunai is supposed to look like. So pay attention to that. Up top, you see somebody else. Who's that? That's right. That may be our Abyssal Queen coming up. So we're gonna have to wait. Now, yeah, right here you see the kunai that he has, and they are the default kunais. They ended up messing up on that by accident. The kunais are actually meant to look like this, okay? This is obviously a spray, but this is how the kunais are supposed to look like. It even says they're Vatu. I didn't see that. That's awesome. Oh, apparently the way to know when this frame gets activated, if you get loading or not, it's the little ring on the lips. Okay. Sure. All right, but that's the Vatu skin. It will go into the diamond chest, 500 crystals straight away. Since I'm talking about chests and skins and so on, just so you understand one tiny little thing, the Dredge bare bone skin will go into the diamond chest or gold chest. Gold chest, yeah, they will go into the gold chest. So if you bought it from the bounty store, you can always just sell it for bounties in a cool price, and then just go buy it or open the golden chest or whatever you prefer. I'm personally gonna get it myself. Oh no, it's not actually the gold chest. No, I'm lying. It's another chest they mentioned, but I don't think it's actually here. I don't think they mentioned that anywhere, unfortunately. But it's going into another chest, and I'm guessing that inside of that chest, it's where these two skins here are also gonna go. Electronica chest, I guess. No, it must be another chest, but it will either be like one rotation. I know they mentioned it really quick, but I would have to go through everything. They forgot to put it on the patch notes, as you guys can see here. And I would have to go through the entire showcase to find it. But basically, the Bare Bones Dredge skin will go into one of the chests, and you can get it by one rotation with 400 crystals, basically. Now, if you own it on the bounty store like I do, for example, I will be selling it, get some bounty coins, and then get it from the chest. Easy. Then there's these two skins. These are actually a crossover with, I believe, they mentioned something about high... Hold up, give me a second here, I can find it. There it is. So they did a little crossover here with 9 mode. I already mentioned this before on the teasers, if you guys remember. And they did these two little skins collabs, okay? One of them, it is with Peekaboo, okay? And the other one, I believe it is with Eliminate Music, which is an artist, okay? So they did the two skins, which I want to talk about this real quick, okay? Because apparently I'm part of the skin now. Because if we go here into the front, I want to talk about something that the developers have mentioned. So we have the Peekaboo skin, which, by the way, it has... This is the first skin with an effect of the shadow, like the Borderlands shadow. As you can see here, this is absolutely insane. And I knew that they were coming up with this exact effect. They wanted to actually test it out with this skin, and it looks amazing. In first person as well. By the way, Moji in this skin is actually a boy. The voice is actually a boy voice. You'll see what I'm talking about. The effects are also amazing. The familiar fire, the magic fire that it does with the right head, it has constant music playing. The magic barrier also does like a little play button on her hands, his hands in this case, and some music. And then the ultimate transforms the enemy into a bone, sort of like a cookie bone that it says Peekaboo from top to bottom. So it's pretty standard. I mean, there's nothing crazy. There's the music effects like they usually do. As you can see here, one of the emotes, I don't think they're going to put any sound right just yet. And here we see some of the first person. This is, okay, let's... So there you go. As long as you're holding the right click, it will have that music. The effects are actually very small, which is amazing. I think this is a bit pay-to-win skin, but I might be wrong. We'll see later. It has a lot less effects than some of the other skins, which will allow us to see a bit better. There's a lot of the also bone, hitting bone sort of sound when doing the movement ability, the scamper. So there you go. Yeah, the VFX on this is actually amazing. And there it is, the ultimate. When you transform somebody, it looks in like a bone and says peekaboo, and then you just obviously eat it. So there you go for that. Again, the sound, the voice lines are very, very bad on this one, unfortunately. I think they showed the voice lines at the start, but like I said, the sound here was very, very bad, so I'm not really going to go through that. But when the gameplay comes out, guess what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be testing voice lines so you guys can see it. So let's get into the Androxus skin. So initially I saw this and I really didn't like it. Because, you know, an Androxus with a face? Like, seems weird. The weapon also seems a bit like the Nerf gun, by the way, as you can see here. But here's the thing. I'm right there. Well, I mean, that's obviously not me, but the devs did decide to say that, you know, there's a cat in the back. Well, we're going to name it. Oh, we'll name it Kreepers. Oh, that's right. It looks like a sold.
Brilliant.
And
Okay, that's the weapon. He's talking about the weapon there. Give it a second.
That cat's so good. What's the cat's name?
Yeah, there we go.
I have no idea.
Oh.
I have no idea. We can name it Kreepers.
Oh, name it Kreepers. Good shout out.
After one of our content creators.
Kind of looks like it, you know.
There we go. I guess I'm in the game now. Officially in the game. The developer, the game designer said it. No takebacks. I am now part of the game. Too bad I have to be part of one of the most disgusting champions in the game, though. But I'm okay with that. It reminds me a little bit of that game. I don't remember the name, but I know you guys are going to tell me down in the comments below. Where you have to go with a backpack with a baby inside of it or something. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Alright, the skin itself is nothing like amazing, crazy good. You know, it's different. It's completely different. I don't think we've ever had an Androxus showing the face of a human face, at least, like this to this point. The effects are actually pretty awesome as well. They're going to show it here in a bit. And the music on the ultimate is actually fantastic. So here we have him doing the emote across the map. And there we go. Finally, we can actually have this. And this is the weapon effects, sound effects, and everything. But there's also music on the ultimate, and that's what I want to play. Here we go.
Oh, and the music too.
I was gonna say the music with the.
That's amazing. That's so cool. I love it. So I might actually rock this skin for a while just because of the goddamn music and the cat, dude. And I didn't even I saw the skin and I was like, I don't like this skin, but after what I saw, they convinced me. Also, this spray is amazing. Like, this is perfect. It's like Halloween style. Please take one, like a candy. But guess what? You get a little plus sign. You get a little healing sign. There you go. All right, amazing. So let's get into the final parts here of when it comes to cosmetics. Okay, so we've seen the skins. There's a Vatu skin. They didn't show us any gameplay, unfortunately. We have these two skins. They will be in chests. The Electronica chest, where there's Rave Maven, etc. Or you can just purchase it directly. 800 crystals. All right. So it's a bit better than the other crossplay with the Monster Cap, because it made the event pass really expensive and not a lot of people wanted it. This way, this will always be in the game, available for everybody, and a lot of people will be rushing into those chests to get it. This one, again, on the diamond chest or directly purchased by 500 crystals. I know how I'm gonna get mine. Inside of the band pass, we're gonna have the frame, the Oni frame, and some of these sprays here. The little crow from Kasumi, which is amazing, and even the avatar of Vatu and Kasumi's avatar. An MVP pose for Ash that already seems pretty normal. I have a weird feeling that they messed up on this one too, because I think this is something we already have, but I might be wrong. It doesn't matter. When we get the event pass, I'm gonna be doing like a breakdown, and then finally, we also have this, which is, I believe, Ash Oni. It looks pretty cool. I like it. It's the death card for demon power. Also, these rewards that I was talking about here, the MVP poses and these sprays, even this frame is inside of the trials. The rest now, the death card here, this spray, this avatar of Leon, this spray, this animated spray, this above will be in the event pass, okay? Together with some gold, crystals, you know, the usual. So, well, I mean, this is the part where I'm going to cut off and the part of the cosmetics section. So now let's go into the buffs, nerfs, and changes. So One thing, they didn't mention exactly everything on the showcase about nerfs and buffs. So if you have went into the, the patch notes, you probably already noticed that there's a bit more than what they actually said. So let's go through them extremely fast, okay? Androxus, he's been nerfed on the Curse Revolver. He does the tick damage for less duration. So instead of 1.5, it will last 1.0 seconds. The base damage per tick, the first tick damage is now 10 instead of 11. You might think, oh, but that's nothing. Well, yeah, but they also nerfed the thing that was amping up per tick. So instead of 1.5 plus per tick, it was now doing just 1.0 more per tick. So it can go to 10, 11, 12, 13, etc. Okay, so unless this is percentage, I think that this is a bit poorly explained, but you understand, it amps up a lot slower, it starts with less, and it lasts less. Not just that, but the max that it can do, it is also less. So Curse Revolver right now has been nerfed. Nothing insanely broken, but at least it doesn't feel as oppressive as it was so far. Barrack, I want to explain this one. So they buffed up Barrack's ultimate. The flamethrower, who's inside of the shield, has more range. And now the turret stays even after the shield is gone. So you are actually summoning a third turret, which is amazing. I mean, you can actually summon that on point. When the shield is gone, you got the turret. It no longer goes away. It doesn't have a time limit, or at least they poorly explained this, because it says the following: flamethrower turret is no longer destroyed on dome destruction. Now, the dome destruction for me, it's either when the ultimate ends or when you break the shield. So unless they're saying that, the turret will always stay for the entire duration, it will just not disappear instantly if you break the shield too fast, like Lex ultimate can break the shield immediately, I'm pretty sure that this turret will stay. But I might confirm this later, and also when we talk about like future videos on PDS and so on. If you watch me live stream it and so on, I might get an answer for you, okay? As for the Forge Fire talent, the range of the fire turrets is still 22. They only buffed it for everything outside of the Forge Fire talent, okay? Bomb King, when using the Royal Subjects talent, now has less ammo by default. You're gonna have to use a card to increase up the ammo back. Caspian has been sort of fixed and also buffed. When using the ultimate, you get full ammo back. The ammo that you have is now 21 instead of 20. This is because if you're only using the pistol, it consumes 3 bullets per shot. So you see that 21 makes a lot more sense, so you don't reach the end with only 2 bullets. The dash that you have with him, the lockout after the dash ends, when you're doing the spin, is actually way less. So you go and you can just continue and do other stuff way faster. IO has been nerfed and buffed at the same time. I mean, Lifelink has been buffed, but her main healing has been nerfed from 150 to 135. The Talent Goddess Blessing actually pulls it back to normal, but when playing Lifelink or Sacrifice, your healing is less. So yeah, I think this is kind of a way to tell people, I mean, don't use Lifelink or Sacrifice as your main base healing, at all times. So when you play Sacrifice, you're healing less. When you're playing Lifelink, you got buffed on the healing of Luna to compensate it for a bit. So, you can heal yourself for more and heal the others for more with Luna, but the main healing will only be buffed with Goddess Blessing. Lex now automatically resets the cooldown of In Pursuit when he uses the ultimate, and the ultimate animation is shorter, which is pretty great in my opinion, although I don't think Lex required any of these buffs, but okay. Makoa, now he has a 20% increased movement speed and the duration of his ultimate, so he moves around faster. Well, only on Leviathan, by the way, only on the talent Leviathan. And the card Barrier Reef, the one that reduces the cooldown of the shield for taking damage, absorbing damage, well, basically has been nerfed. Now it requires 1000 damage to trigger. So you're gonna have a lot less cooldown being taken away from the shield, even if you amp it up with the max possible with Guardian and more points on HP of the shield and etc. Which for me it's okay, because I'm sorry, but Half Shell needs to be nerfed ASAP. And if you don't agree, then I'm sorry, I'll agree with you to disagree, okay? Octavia, no longer the ultimate will stop when you die, which is fantastic. And the Distortion Field cooldown will immediately start when you do the ability instead of when the ability ends. Because it didn't make any sense, you were having Sorry, no. The cooldown starts when the ability ends instead of what I'm just said. That's what I was trying to say, and I ended up using the wrong words. But the cooldown of the ability would actually start only after the ability has ended, so that you don't get another one too fast, okay? They also reduce 2 seconds of the ability cooldown just to make sure, you know, that it's not that massive of a nerf for Octavia. Pip Mega Potion has been changed. So now it increases 100% of the healing, but that healing also can be applied to you. If you didn't know this, Mega Potion did not get you the extra bonus healing to yourself, but now it does. And not just that, but it also applies a 200 shield that can stack. So if I use one potion, I have the card that resets the potions, and I put another potion, 400 shield for everyone that gets affected by it. That's fantastic. Sati has been nerfed a little bit on the range that the blast pack does, and you know how much, like the effective range that it pulls people into the air. That was definitely needed. They also shrink down a little bit of the cone size of where you're looking at that can trigger people to your sides a little bit, so that's fantastic. Strix has been buffed. His crack shot, the damage has been nerfed, but the rest is all good. Basically, they nerfed the damage that you do with crack shot, making it a total of 900 damage per shot. But now you can do headshot. Okay, so now you can go, the headshot is usually half of this, 450, so 1,350 you can do if you hit a headshot. But here's the thing, if you use no scopes, the accuracy now is 100% perfect. So if there's somebody who's standing right in front of you and you do the no scope, you hit it. Okay, that's amazing. As for his nocturnal, I really don't think this should have happened, but whatever, they gave it 20% movement speed while being on stealth. So this is permanent as long as you're in stealth, okay? Torval can now cancel his ultimate after 0.5 seconds of using the ability. That 0.5 seconds is there to, in case you press it too many times by accident and immediately cancel it by yourself by accident. The Talon Tank's Grandpa now also reduces the cooldown of the protection by 1 second. And now let's talk about Seven, who has been butchered. And I am happy with this for myself. Like, I like the fact that they still kept the pull of the hook, but in a different way. It's just not base kit anymore. So you can no longer pull people with your hooks on base, and you do less damage with the hook, because you can still hook an enemy and deal damage with it, 200 damage now, but you no longer pull it, independently if they're tanks or not tanks, okay? As for the bombs, they do a lot less knock up and knock back, okay? They do half of that, which is great. And the talent that did the laser of 1,100 damage with your ultimate actually is now been reworked and allows you to grapple people who are not tanks and pull them into you. But they reduced the charges by 1, so it means you only have 1 hook now. The cooldown of it gets reduced to 2 seconds to compensate, and the damage gets to 100. So you can still, get some good loadouts to have like more hooks and etc. But you see here what I'm talking about. This talent is not going to be that interesting for people who want to keep their mobility. At least the pulling will be separated now for mobility, and for the pulling, like you either go one or you either go the other. You cannot really go both at the same time, so it's actually pretty great. Victor has been buffed. The card Second Wind that would give you speed bonus after you start hustle, it now only applies once you stop the hustle, so you have some speed after you you start running a bit. And the cooldown, internal cooldown of it is now 10 seconds instead of 12. And here is Vora. I'll talk about Vora in just a second. I want to come back to this. Yagarath, the talent that gives shields with pulses. The shields per pulse has now been nerfed. It's 90 shield instead of 125 per shield per pulse. And also you require a lot less distance to use your ultimate. For us, it was actually told that it went to 40, but apparently it's actually 30. I still need to test this on PDS and see if they messed up on this or not. And we'll talk about bug fixes in the end, but let's talk about Vora. I want to talk about Vora for a simple reason. There's going to be people out there who are obviously going to be saying that some of these changes happened because of me. Yes, some of them did happen because of me. But I want you to understand that I'm not trying to make Vora broken. In fact, I'll explain one of the changes to compensate the other. But the idea here for Vora was that, people were suggesting stuff for Vora, and I thought it was either too broken or just stupid. No offense, sorry. But I wanted to sort of give, based on my experience with Vora, some of the feedback that would help them balance her. So for example, the ultimate being refunded here, when you try to execute somebody but that kill gets stolen from you, you get 25% ultimate charge back. Okay, so it's not that bad. You don't have to work as much to get the ultimate back if you lost that kill at least. It was not me who suggested it, by the way. I'm just saying. The speed of the projectiles for Vora, the travel speed, that was sort of a bit like me, but I also suggested a couple of other stuff that didn't make it in. So this is the speed of it, not damage. Forget this. This is just like the speed per, I guess, per unit or something. Like, or I don't know exactly how they measure this, but whatever. Now, this was me. And a bit of me here as well, and this. These two were me. This one and this one. So my idea was to make Tendril a bit better for when using the other talents, but not completely broken when using the double Tendril talent. So, take away 2 seconds from the normal Tendril, making it a bit more viable for when you're using the silence talent or the damage talent, so you can move around a bit more. Nothing crazy. 2 seconds is not like broken in 12 seconds, okay? You still have 10 seconds to wait. Obviously, you got cards that will reduce the cooldown of it, but you understand my point. And then finally, I said, okay, but on the other one, we have two Tendrils. I feel like that would be a bit too broken. So how about now the talent increases 2 seconds back. So it stays exactly the same when it comes to Relentless Presence, the 2 Tendril talent, but the other 2 talents actually become a bit more viable. And this is what they did. They actually listened and they put it in, 1 nerf, 1 buff, and something to counter something else that would be broken immediately with that buff. Okay, so as you can see, they do listen. If you have any sort of feedback, any sort of like balance suggestions and anything, please come to us, the OCs, and we will pass it along. And if they see that it's worth it, then maybe they'll do it. Okay. As for the ultimate DR, you have a bit more, just because like they removed the completely immunity that you used to have with it. So it's a lot easier to die with the ultimate. So they amped up a little bit on the DR, 40% instead of 30% now. But just to try to keep themselves, the Voras stay alive just for a bit more. Just nothing broken, but still. Now, bug fixes. Caspian sometimes wouldn't reload. Now it's been fixed. In Nara, the champion screen incorrect input for the ultimate was displaying off bounds. Apparently now it's been fixed. I didn't even knew that, but yeah. Sati, they fixed an issue where the VFX when using the talent window of opportunity, it would display wrong VFX with the blast back ability. Ceres was having some issues when there was an ultimate of the Lilith, the Blood Moon, plus when you're using the shadow travel of Ceres at the same time. They fixed it. Talus, they fixed an issue where location of the hitbox of Talus' upper blitz ability with the punch was being influenced by Talus' player movement inputs during the ability. So if I were to, look up, you could actually punch people up. I believe this is the exact same issue they were describing here, unless that was already fixed and this is just another thing, maybe for the sides or something. Then finally, they also fixed the audio for the Carnage dancing mode of Yagarath, which apparently wasn't actually playing audio, and I didn't even know that it had audio to begin with, which that's actually okay. They also fixed the issue of the missing audio of the Black Hole 3D spray, which is great. And as for maps changes, they basically gave a couple of fixes to Stonekeep and Warder's Gate, which is great, to the reworks, some collision issues in fixing and polishing. And they also changed some spawn points in Mirror's Port King of the Hill to address one that was a bit too close to the sea. Okay, so they made it a bit in a better place. There's one thing also that since I'm here, I'm still gonna put it in the end. It doesn't, it's nothing insanely crazy, but I want to talk about this. Apparently, they mentioned here about some LTMs. That's what I meant to say, sorry. Some LTMs that are coming up. Hole-in-One is basically the one from Makoa. Now, I want to search here, Dragon Arena Paladins. And I want to make sure people don't get this wrong. Unfortunately, on the stream, I mentioned this and I said it wrong. I thought this was actually what they were talking about, the Dragon's Call event. I thought they were bringing back the map, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't know why the hell they're not bringing this map back. Just gonna say that right now. But apparently this is the map actually where the LTM will play. Okay, it's not actually the old Dragon map. Forget it, the Dragon Call event. No, it's this one. But, however, this is actually pretty interesting because this LTM will have 20% reduced cooldowns for whatever you decide to play. It's a TDM. And there's giant walls falling from the sky. Based on what I understand, they will kill you. I have never seen any of that like on Paladins. So this actually is going to be very, very interesting to see, how the hell are they making walls fall from the sky. And also, since I'm mentioning this, apparently that mount, I think I saw it right here. Yeah, you see this mount, but it's white, that came over to Paladins, that it's on the referral system. Yeah, so apparently they are reworking that already, and it's going to be working on this patch. So if you are wondering, oh, how can I get this mount? It's already in the game, so how can I get it? So just wait for next patch. They'll probably be coming up with more info, or maybe they're just going to reset it and you're going to have to do everything again to get the mount. Or either that, or they're placing it in the middle, and anyone who has completed it will just receive the mount for free. So for now, that's all I have. This is everything in the patch. If you have any further questions, please don't forget to go down in the comments below and ask it away. I also want to know what you think about Kasumi, and also the balance changes, and even the skins. And, I'll be waiting for all that feedback in the comment section so I can pass it on to Hyris, Evil Mojo, and developers. So thank you so much for watching. I know that some of you might be thinking, why such a long map? But the reason is that I've decided to start doing this on patch notes, and where I actually divide the video and you just jump to whatever the hell you want to go. Like if you just want to go see the skins, or if you just want to see the champion, or if you want to see everything, you just let the video play. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, have a wonderful time. I'm out. Bye-bye.